Ruth Dusty Anderson was a successful American model in the 1940s, known mostly for her work as a pinup girl on the cover of magazines. This launched a movie career which only lasted a few years despite her massive fame and popularity. Since then, many fans have wondered why she quit so early. Stay tuned to find out what happened to Dusty Anderson, from the reason she quit acting to what she did afterwards. Early life. Dusty Anderson, christened Ruth Edwin Anderson, was born in Toledo, Ohio on December 17, 1918, to Oscar Emanuel Anderson and Grave Halbert Nielsen. In her early years, she attended a photography school in Toledo, and she saved up for months to buy 2 expensive cameras. During a trip along the shores of Lake Erie, a sudden flurry of wind overturned her canoe, and her precious cameras sunk to the bottom of the lake. After this, Dusty decided to take up modeling for other photographers to earn money to replace her equipment, and she did so well it became a career. This kick-started her career as a model. Later on, she moved to New York. There, she signed a contract with Harry Conover, who renamed her Dusty and made her a cover girl. While in New York, she met U.S. Marine Corps Captain Charles Matthew Jr., and on July 18, 1941, the couple got married. Rise to stardom. Anderson began her career as a model and made her film debut in the 1944 Columbia Pictures production of CoverGirl, in a modest part as one of the cover girls. The production featured iconic actress Rita Hayworth. In Hollywood, Dusty landed a contract with Columbia Pictures, and over the next 3 years, she appeared in another 8 films, usually in secondary roles. These films were Tonight and Every Night, Crime Doctor's Warning, The Phantom Thief, and more. Despite playing minor roles, her beauty didn't go unseen, and she was popular at the time. During World War II, the U.S. military issued a weekly magazine called Army Weekly. Her first outing as a pinup girl was in the October issue in 1944. Dusty's unstable love life. Dusty Anderson was doing okay, if not spectacularly, in her career as an actress, but this soon took second place to her love life. It started in February of 1945, 2 months after her husband returned from the war. She filed for divorce, citing domestic violence. Apparently, in the course of an argument, her husband beat her and gave her a black eye. This was enough to finalize their divorce. During the messy divorce process, Dusty attended an auction in Beverly Hills. At that same auction was Hollywood director John Negulesco, who spotted Dusty and described her as a tall, shapely beauty, wearing a black hood, a black turtleneck sweater, and black leather slacks. Her friend and escort at the event, publicist Dorothy Campbell, introduced the two. Dusty played it cool and returned to the auction to bid on an antique mirror. She failed to win it because Gene outbid her. Gene did this because he planned to invite her to his place for dinner and gift her the mirror, but she left before he could make his move. Gene didn't give up on her, though, and made a few inquiries. He discovered her phone number and asked her out. She initially said no because she was in the middle of a divorce and had been instructed to lay low to avoid complicating proceedings. But weeks later, she called him back to accept his invitation. Dusty Anderson's divorce from Captain Charles Matthew became final in 1946, and on July 21st, she and Gene got married. Their wedding was an informal affair organized in the back garden of the home of director Howard Hawks, who was Gene's best man. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts First for more, and stick around for a lot more about Dusty Anderson. Dusty picks up a new interest. After she remarried in 1946, Dusty continued her acting career until 1951, when she officially retired. That concluded her brief 7-year career as an actress. In the latter years of her career, after she'd married Gene, Dusty picked up painting as a new passion. Gene and his wife Dusty both shared a strong interest in fine art. Gene came to Hollywood from Romania, where he was a renowned painter. Dusty studied for 6 years at the Museum of Art of Toledo and has tried her hand at both painting and photography. In October 1950, Dusty had an exhibition where she displayed 15 of her paintings at a big show in Drouot David Gallery in Paris, France. Her pictures included London's River Thames scenes, conventional flowers and fruit, a study of her 2 Siamese cats, and a self-portrait. Given her newfound passion for painting, she decided to direct her efforts to painting following her official retirement in 1951. In August of 1955, it was reported that Dusty Negulesco had made significant progress as a painter and had received good notices from art critics. Her paintings even appear in at least 2 of Gene's movies, Daddy Longlegs and The Best of Everything. This further highlighted her success as a painter and proved that a career change was perhaps the right choice. Dusty and Jean's marital issues. Dusty was enjoying her new career as a painter and informed Jean she wanted to go to Paris to study art and improve her technique. Jean wasn't in favor because he believed it would require at least 2 years of study and practice. This became a source of contention between the two. Another is Jean's infidelity. Although he was married, he never let go of his playboy reputation and continued to sleep with other women. His bungalow on the 20th Century Fox lot, where he invited celebrities for lunch, is known as Bangalow. The marriage went down from there, and in May 1953, Dusty left for Paris with Dee Hartford, Howard Hawks' wife, without the consent of her husband. To get Dusty back, Jean persuaded his boss to assign him to Europe and decided to work in Italy on the production of the movie 3 Coins in the Fountain. En route to Rome, he stopped in Paris to apologize and talk Dusty into a reconciliation. They made up, and a few days later, Dusty joined Jean in Rome. Dusty had to cope with Jean's love affairs throughout their marriage, but she also found ways to get her revenge. When she suspected he had a crush on Sophia Loren while making Boy on a Dolphin, she traveled on his credit card, sparing no expense. This put Jean in check, who later commented on how much he paid for his infidelity. He said he's still paying bills to this day, and his weakness cost him a fortune. Dusty starts a family. Weeks before getting married in July of 1946, Dusty realized she was pregnant. After 5 months of pregnancy, Dusty had a miscarriage, making her very sick. Dusty and Jean didn't give up after this setback, and they tried again, but the same thing happened. At this point, her doctors advised Dusty to give up having a baby so as not to endanger her health. Her inability to have a child affected Dusty significantly, and upon accepting it, she and her husband turned their parental yearnings elsewhere. They began to support orphans under the Foster Parents for War Children plan. On a trip to Italy in August of 1953, they invited 9-year-old war orphan Adelina Peluso from Naples to Rome to meet them. They supported her for 3 years without meeting her, and on this occasion, Dusty bought her a new wardrobe. This was one of several occasions where they supported and met up with children in need. Then in 1959, while Jean was in Hong Kong, Dusty discovered illegitimate children born during the war and abandoned by their parents. She found a 3-month-old girl in a hospital in Stuttgart, Germany named Christina, and after consulting with Jean, took the next plane to Germany to adopt her. She also found another little girl, Gabrielle, born on May 8, 1958, whom she adopted to be Christina's sister. These 2 little girls became Dusty's daughters, her family, and another reason to enjoy her retirement. Dusty's death. In 1963, Jean, Dusty, and their 2 adopted children, Tina and Gabby, moved to Madrid, partly the result of Jean's desire to work in Europe. Jean brought his career to a close in 1970 with the release of Hello Goodbye. At this point, he was a wealthy man with a fabulous art collection, houses in different parts of the world, and of course, a beautiful wife. In 1993, Jean's health suddenly deteriorated. On the 18th of July, 3 days before their 47th wedding anniversary, he died at home of heart failure with Dusty at his bedside. Dusty Anderson lived a peaceful, secluded life for several years after her husband's death. She reportedly also spent part of her years in a nursing home until her death on September 12, 2007, at age 90 in Marbella, Spain. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you have a favorite Dusty Anderson movie, or do you remember her best as a pinup? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.